So for the main menu, we have the music that I made on FL Studio, but also we have just some ambient road noise to have in the background just to make it a bit more cinematic, I guess. And just press spacebar to start. And then we get this briefing: you've just arrived at a garage, you're an assassin working for the corporation TNT, and you've been tasked with killing 3 ex-employees for breaching their contract. Find them and kill them. Because obviously if we had more time we would have been able to leave what's happening as a mystery and the players slowly develop an understanding of why they're here. But obviously we weren't able to due to the time constraints. It's just a garage texture. It's got the company that we work for's logo on it, as like we wanted their branding to be like all around the world, so like to show how much of a conglomerate they are and how much like they have their eggs in every basket. So in the garage, got all these, they're textured. Look, see, even here, like got the boxes, like the post office is even owned by this company, by this like conglomerate mega company. And in the background you can hear the music, which I made on FL Studio. Again, it's just some somber, like slightly eerie / mischievous type noises, like it's just kind of eerie. You see here newspapers. The newspaper is owned by the company again, and I also just put Substance Paint as a nod to what I used to texture it. And here we've got all these things that were made by Mark. All the, like the shelf items were all made by Mark. And if you walk in here, and the character was made by Mark too. If you're looking for the boss, he's in the garage. So there's a collider that responds. And then here's the garage. John's tires. And now the door's open. And if we see him, our target is working underneath the car. And the way to do this is that we go up to the switch for the generator and press E, and it'll crush him with the thing. Oh shit, it's time to book it out of here. There we go. Here's some more music that I made, just something like kind of a bit more cheery, I guess. And then, you know, here's a car you're driven by. There's a harbour. You can go around all these areas. And in the corner there you can see there's the island that we're going to be heading off to. We used a shader inside a Unity called Toon Shader, and it was one with the outline but also shadows on it, and it's given this effect which all of us are really happy with. In this level I added plenty of colliders, so you can't jump off into the sea, but you can go on the boats if you want to, like, obviously explore and have a look on the boats and everything. Keep going. There's general litter and stuff. And over here is an invisible wall that you can't get past. It's just some warehouses and such behind here. And then if we look, there's a boat out at sea there. There's the island we're going to be heading to. And if we come up to this guy, speak to him, he says, I know you're after Icarus. Don't worry, we can get you to the island behind us, because that's the island where Icarus has been in hiding after finding out, or obviously this very sensitive information about the company. So here we are. We thought we wouldn't have any music with this part to make it a bit more sinister and like eerie. There's the boat that we came from. Now it's just a eerily silent. I feel like it completely contradicts everything else that's been in the games thus far, which is had music or some form of sound behind, but this has no sound whatsoever. So we keep there. Just use these trees which I Mark modelled, and the grass textures from standard assets within Unity. There we go. Just thought I'd have a nice little scenic part where you can see the sunset in between this dip. Let's keep following the path up to Icarus. So what we wanted for this part was that there the initial idea was that there was a choice for you to listen to Icarus before you kill him, and it was going to be a sense of it was going to be a thing of if you're not patient enough to wait for him to say what he needs to say, because initially we wanted voice acting and everything in this, but obviously due to time constraints we weren't able to. But here's his cabin, and with it we wanted it to be like you could stop and like talk to him, and then he would give you a bit more information about the company, and then obviously you'd have to still kill him as the player. You'd still have to kill him. It's just here's his house with all the textures and stuff. His bathroom, his kitchen, his living room. There's a fire texture which I'm really happy with, that one. There he is outside. We'll get to him in a second. Here's his bedroom. Then if you go upstairs into his office, here's his thing board, and his music studio, because Icarus's association with the company was that he did the music for the advert and the propaganda for TNT, the conglomerate that you're working for. And what we wanted was that when you went up to, let me just drop here, when we went to Icarus, obviously he's looking at this one because he knew that this day would come, and we want him to speak and give some form of exposition and say like, and like start like spouting something that if you haven't been paying attention to scraps of paper or news clippings, which we obviously once again didn't get time to put in, you would have realised that he's not chatting a load of like rubbish. He's actually saying like a lot of things that would expose this company, and obviously you still have to kill him, and it would just be a simple, you go up to him and you press E to kill, and there he is floating in the water. That's one more for the list. Time to get back to mainland. But before you kill him, we want him to say, "Oh, before you kill me, the key to everything you need to know is behind the music." And we thought, it could be quite a funny thing that if obviously as a player you would think, the key is behind the music. That must be some form of symbolic thing. When in fact, if you go up here and go behind one of the speakers, there's a key. Now this key is for the next level, the officer's filing room, which has plenty of files on employees who had the same role as you, who mysteriously passed away due to a workplace accident. And we were wanting this to be a thing that this was the choice. So if you did get this with the next level, you were able to go through the door into the filing room. But once again, due to time constraints, we weren't able to get this coded. But we're hoping that we'll be able to fix it up and see how it is. But yeah, here's the cabin and everything. It's really, really pretty and well done, and I think the shader just makes it look so much nicer. And then it's back to mainland. So we just got to go back to the boat. And then as we get to, obviously in an ideal scenario we would have loved to have had cutscenes in between the transitions to levels, but we did consider using the main menu video that I rendered. We were considering putting that in between everything, so obviously it was like a driving loading screen to show that you were driving to a new destination. However, we thought that obviously it would need some form of context to each one, so it's just a transition here we go, and it's back to some more like some eerie like misfortune type music, which is what the player themselves are about to witness. You walk up to the receptionist. "Oh, hi sir, they're waiting for you upstairs. It's 4th floor, second door on the left." And there's bathrooms in here, which we haven't had the doors able to open or whatnot. But you go through here, doors open, and the player, if they're not vigilant enough, won't see this, but there's a morgue underneath, which you press E on and you'll spawn in here, and here's a morgue, and we want to have a body and possibly someone's have like a foot with a name tag on it, or like someone here, and then this would obviously raise more suspicions within the player, like, well this doesn't really make much sense. How is this, like, why is there a morgue in a company to do transport? And thus, like, would, you know, make the player want to investigate further. Another problem is that we do spawn back there, which obviously is a pain. She says I think inbox whatever, and then obviously go up here, go in here, and here's the canteen, or the cafeteria, or the lunchroom, or whatever you would like to call it. Thing. What's that? There you go. And we go up here. This is the offices with everyone. Everyone's computers. We wanted like files and stuff on the screens here. The texture, like every screen to have an individually unique texture on it, to have some form of information to add to the plot and help like unravel the like mystery of what this company is. Oops, there we go. And if we go up again, this is the floor that had the most significance, in my opinion, to these two diverging branches you can take at the end of this game, which, once again, we weren't able to do due to time constraints. Here's just a nice little like chill room, and then here's a meeting room, and we want to have a projector projecting some form of ulterior motives to the company, but obviously we weren't. Now here is the filing room. We wanted all these cabinets to be interactable, so you could open them and look at the files within them that would have ex-employees' names with the same job title as you, who died mysteriously due to workplace accidents conveniently after they'd finished their first quota. Which you as a player has literally just finished your first quota of people, like you've just reached the quota. So but to get in here, we wanted that key which you found in the cabin to be able to unlock this door. Sadly we weren't able to get that done in time, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to get that sorted. And then go over here. Now here's the definitive. So for instance, if the player had gone to the final cabinet room and had found the key in the cabin, went to the final cabinet room, unlocked it, and had went and looked at all these things, and then put the pieces together to realize that they were going to get killed as soon as they go into this interview room, then another option they could do is, instead of going in there, they could go up to the top floor, which we haven't programmed sadly, but you'd be able to go outside to the top floor, and there'd be a fire escape at the back which they could then escape from. They could hop into the red car that you've been using to transport yourself this entire time, and you could use that to escape. So go through here. So really can't get in here because it's where the leaders of the company are in. Can't go in any of these rooms. The only one you can go in is here, and then you walk in and you start speaking to, and there's one of the main guys. Thank you for your service to the company, but I'm afraid you're no longer needed. We're terminating your contract as of now. Goodbye. And once you're in here, you can't leave. And then there's a gunshot, and it jumps to credits. Thank you for playing Project Icarus. The game design we had was Oscar, and he did a really good job. Obviously, considering that he was the only game designer who had any coding experience within our group. And then obviously there was myself, Kirill, Yusuf, and Mark. And yeah, that's the game.